Welcome to the Deep Dive. You're here because, well, you want to get smart fast.
That's the goal.
And today we are really getting into it, looking closely at the internet.
A huge topic.
Huge. We've got this really interesting source material. Basically, it's like listening in on a conversation, two people just talking through the internet.
Yeah, the good and the bad.
Exactly. The amazing benefits, but also, the real concerns we should probably be thinking about.
Right. So our mission today is basically to pull out the key stuff from their chat.
Yeah, so you walk away with a solid grasp of the internet's impact based on what they discussed.
And what's great about this source, like you said, is how conversational it is.
Right.
It's not some stuffy report. It feels relatable, because this tech is just everywhere in our lives now.
Totally moving in.
So we'll just highlight their main points: convenience, connection, but also the potential problems.
Okay, let's jump in. The first big thing they hit on, and it's hard to argue with, is accessing information.
Oh yeah, game changer.
Seriously, think about it. You need to know something, anything really, a few clicks, and boom, there it is. It's night and day compared to like even 20 years ago.
It really is. And what strikes me about that ease of access is how it kind of, democratized knowledge.
Yeah, good word for it.
It's not just for people at fancy institutions anymore. The barrier to learning is just dropped massively.
True.
But the flip side is, with so much info, you really have to be careful, right?
Oh, definitely.
Knowing what's reliable.
Yeah.
That's a skill those old encyclopedias didn't really demand in the same way.
Good point. And it's not just finding facts, right? It's how we connect with each other. This conversation we're looking at really stresses how much easier communication has become.
Yeah, convenient is the word they use.
Totally. Social media, email, those video calls we all do now.
Right.
Keeping in touch with people anywhere in the world, it's almost effortless.
And if you think bigger picture, that ease, it's created this global village almost. Personal ties across oceans, work teams collaborating internationally. It's fundamental.
It really reshapes interaction.
Think about finding people with niche interests. Now you can connect wherever they are.
Absolutely. And for a lot of people, the most obvious convenience is probably online shopping.
Oh, for sure. E-commerce.
The discussion points out how much easier and more accessible it's become. Shopping from your sofa, getting stuff delivered, we kind of take it for granted now, don't we?
We really do.
Yeah.
And that has huge economic ripples, for us as shoppers, maybe even as business owners.
How so?
Well, new markets, new opportunities, and the convenience factor. It's completely shifted how businesses run and how we spend money.
Yeah, makes sense. And talk about opportunities. Education.
Right. Big impact there.
Online courses, all those resources. Learning isn't just for young people in classrooms anymore. It's accessible.
Ages, backgrounds, geography. It breaks down those barriers.
Exactly.
Which kind of makes you wonder about the future of learning, doesn't it? More personalized, maybe? More flexible?
Could be. It certainly opens up avenues.
Definitely.
And think about businesses too, not just shoppers. The internet lets them reach way more people, go global, even small businesses.
Yeah, the source mentioned online marketplaces.
Right, kind of leveling the playing field, they said, letting smaller guys compete.
And that's because, fundamentally, the cost of reaching customers anywhere has just plummeted.
Okay.
So small businesses can tap into markets they never could before, which for us as consumers could mean more choice, maybe better prices.
Right, more competition. Another huge shift, and this one might hit close to home for many listeners, remote work.
Oh yeah, that's exploded.
The discussion notes how common remote jobs are now, and the internet is basically the backbone making it possible.
And that shift, it's got big implications, right? Work-life balance, less commuting, maybe more flexibility.
Hopefully.
But also wider effects like on cities, maybe even the environment, if fewer people are driving to offices every day.
Interesting angle. And okay, downtime, entertainment.
Yeah, screaming.
The amount of movies, TV shows, music, podcasts, it's just endless, isn't it?
Absolutely staggering. Whatever you're into, it's probably out there.
Yeah.
So, all that choice.
Yeah.
It does make you think about attention spans.
True.
And just how much media we're consuming. It's easy to get overwhelmed, maybe. Need to manage it.
Definitely need to manage it. Collaboration, too, that came up.
Right, working together.
How easy it is now to work on something in real time with people, even if they're miles away.
Yeah, share documents, video conferencing.
If you've done any group projects lately, you know this.
And those tools, they speed things up, right? Innovation, solving problems faster across different fields. That benefits everyone, indirectly at least.
Good point. Then there's social networking.
Connecting with people.
All over the world. Sharing ideas, finding communities. It's pretty amazing when you step back and think about it.
It is. Loads of benefits for finding your tribe, staying connected. Well, but it also comes with challenges. Privacy, fake news spreading, comparing yourself to others. We'll get to the downsides.
Right, okay. But the core theme looping back is just convenience.
Yeah, across the board.
Online banking, ordering food, booking trips. It's just part of the routine now for so many.
It saves time, saves effort, streamlines daily life.
Definitely.
Though it's maybe we're thinking about the impacts on like local shops or traditional ways of doing things sometimes.
True. Okay, so we've covered a lot of the positives they talked about. Now, the shift.
The other side of the coin, the drawbacks.
And a big one they raise is security.
Yeah, that's crucial.
We put so much personal info online. The risk of it getting stolen or misused, it's always there.
It really is. And it just highlights how important things like cybersecurity are and being careful ourselves.
Yeah, vigilance.
Because breaches can affect so many people when everything's connected.
And tied right into that is privacy. The conversation mentions, how much data is collected about us, often without us really knowing or saying okay explicitly.
Yeah, that's that trade-off, isn't it? We get convenience, personalized ads, all that stuff.
Right.
But the cost is our data. Finding the right balance there is tricky for everyone involved. Companies, governments, us.
How much are you okay with them collecting? That's the question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the anonymity the internet offers it can bring out the worst in some people.
Yeah, cyberbullying, that came up.
Sadly, yes. Hiding behind a screen makes it easier for some to be cruel.
It's awful.
And the impact can be really severe. Dealing with it needs like education, platforms taking action, maybe even laws.
It's a tough one. Then there's addiction. Internet addiction.
Very real.
Might resonate with some listeners. It's just so easy to get sucked in.
Yeah. Sucked was one of the vocab words they mentioned, actually.
Ah, right.
Hours can just disappear online, sometimes neglecting other important stuff.
Work, sleep, relationships.
Yeah. It shows how addictive it can be. We need to be mindful, develop healthier habits, ask ourselves, is this time well spent? Is it taking away from other things?
Good question to ask. Okay, another biggie, fake news.
Ugh. Yes. Misinformation.
It affects everyone. Yeah. So much stuff flying around online. How do you even tell what's real anymore?
It's incredibly difficult. And it's a serious problem for making informed choices, for society trusting institutions.
Yeah.
Critical thinking, media literacy. They're not just nice to haves anymore. They're essential survival skills online. How do you check what you see?
Everyone needs a strategy for that. And our bodies can suffer too, right? Physical health.
The conversation mentioned eye strain.
Yeah, headaches.
Poor posture from hunching over screens.
Guilty.
It's the direct result of spending hours staring at devices. We need to be aware, take breaks, move around, set up our workspaces properly.
Basic stuff, but easy to forget. And related to security, there's hacking.
Right, malicious actors trying to get access.
So much valuable info is stored online now. Bank details, personal files.
Yeah.
The danger of that being stolen is always lurking.
And hacking can be devastating. For individuals, businesses, even governments. Strong security is vital, but so is us being careful with our own accounts and passwords.
Definitely. Okay, one last drawback they mention, and it's super relatable. Just wasting time.
Oh yeah, the internet rabbit hole.
It's so easy to just browse, lose hours, doing nothing productive.
Totally. Clicking from one thing to another.
And then you look up and wonder where the afternoon went, neglecting other things you meant to do.
It just comes back to being intentional, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Managing your time online so it serves you rather than drains you.
Makes sense. Okay, so after covering all that, the internet pros and cons, the conversation took a bit of a turn.
Yeah, into language, specifically grammar in English.
Right. They started asking, basically, do you need perfect grammar to speak English fluently, to communicate well?
And the interesting distinction they make is between being grammatically perfect and just being understood. Effective communication.
Yeah.
Good grammar helps, obviously, makes things clearer. But getting your meaning across, connecting with someone, maybe that doesn't always require every single rule followed perfectly.
So the takeaway seemed to be that clarity is key. Getting your message across is maybe more important than flawless structure, especially in casual chat.
Right. It acknowledges language changes and that understanding each other is the main goal, particularly informally.
But there's a but.
There's always a but.
They also pointed out, realistically, sometimes people do judge you based on your grammar.
Yeah, especially in certain situations. Professional settings, maybe more formal social ones.
It's just a reality to be aware of, right?
It is. Language use can affect how people see your competence or credibility sometimes. Even if perfect grammar isn't vital for basic understanding, it can matter in certain contexts.
Okay. But the main vibe, the overall message from that part seemed to be, just be kind.
Yeah, be understanding.
Regardless of how someone speaks, communication is about connection, fundamentally.
Exactly. Focusing on empathy. Language is a tool to connect people. And judging someone strictly on grammar can be, well, exclusionary. It gets in the way.
And for anyone who does want to improve their grammar, they briefly mentioned that, resources are out there, help is available.
Right. It's framed as a personal choice, offering support without pressure. If you want to improve, you can.
No judgment. And they ended that bit with a really strong point. Your worth as a person has absolutely nothing to do with how perfectly you speak English.
Crucial message. Language diversity is good. Making assumptions about someone's intelligence based on grammar is just narrow-minded and often wrong.
Well said.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just before wrapping up their main chat, they quickly flagged a few vocab words.
Yeah, convenient, expand, acknowledge, drawbacks, and suck.
Right. Just mentioning that knowing words like these helps understand these kinds of discussions better.
Just a practical tip, basically. Bigger vocabulary helps you follow more complex ideas.
Makes sense. So bringing our deep dive together,
Yeah.
it's super clear from their conversation that the internet is, well, complicated.
A double-edged sword, definitely.
Incredible benefits, right? Information, communication, learning, business, fun. It's changed everything.
Fundamentally.
But, as they made very clear, there are serious drawbacks. Security, privacy, cyberbullying, addiction, fake news, even physical health stuff.
Yeah, things you really need to be aware of and actively manage in today's world. Mitigation is key.
Absolutely. And hearing it discussed conversationally, like in our source material, really brought out all those different angles, didn't it?
It did. Showed how it hits our lives in so many ways, good and bad.
Which leads us to a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on.
Okay.
Thinking about everything we've touched on today, all the pros, all the cons they discussed, what do you think is the single biggest impact the internet has had on your daily life?
Good question.
And maybe more importantly, what specific things do you actually do to navigate all its complexities? How do you manage it?
That's definitely something worth reflecting on, given how much time we all spend interacting with this incredibly powerful thing every single day.